Hey guys, we have the E-flite UMX Stearman PT-17. This is a really cool little plane. Almost didn't buy this just because of how delicate these are, but I've been wanting to try some of the micros, and almost got the little T-28 Trojan, but I know how these lightweight aircraft get blown around really bad anytime there's a little bit of wind, and where I live there's always a little bit of wind, if not a lot of bit of wind. So that one was kind of out of the question for me. And the AS3X and this one, it works really good. I've flown this one in wind up to like 15 miles an hour, almost 20. And yeah, it doesn't go very fast upwind. It hauls ass downwind. But the AS3X and this one works really good. They got the programming on this one spot on. But right out of the box, the first flight on it, it left the ground in about 2 feet into the wind, and then it just skyrocketed straight up, and it took almost all down elevator stick I had to get it level. And I trimmed it out in flight, but it still wasn't enough down elevator, so I just landed it, zeroed the trims because the AS3X doesn't like any trim adjustment or sub trim, so adjusted the elevator trim on the push rod to kind of get it all sorted out. And I noticed that it was flying with a lot of down elevator already, and I tried it again. It got better, but it just still wasn't right. So I checked the CG again, and it was still seeming like it was a little nose heavy, but I couldn't seem to get it spot on. I couldn't seem to get a good method to balance it, because you have to balance it on the top wing, right side up. And if you'll notice, I've got two little white circles. It's just a piece of monocoat trim sheet, used a hole punch and just punch out 2 circles, and I stick those right on the CG mark. So I came up with a method to balance this one. Let me grab it real quick. All you need is a carbon arrow shaft, or it doesn't have to be carbon, just an arrow shaft. And this one's a little bit bigger diameter than the one I used. The one I originally used to balance it with is about half this diameter. But you just stick it through the struts, like so. And strangely enough, when it's sitting pushed all the way back against the back of the struts, the arrow is sitting right on the CG mark. If you can see that. The arrow lines up right on the CG line. But also, with the battery all the way forward, it would not balance. And what I ended up doing is I just punched 2 little small holes in the nose with a drill bit all the way at the front. And I put 2 little 3/16 inch lead split sinkers, little fishing sinkers. And I just pressed them into the foam flush, and then put a little drop of foam safe CA over the top. So the next mod that I did was on the landing gear, because I have a lot of these little batteries, and some of these little batteries go in the little micro helicopters, and they will not fit in the helicopters when there's Velcro on the back side of them. They're just too tight of a fit. So what I did is got some of these little craft rubber bands that they make the little bracelets and jewelry out of. I picked a blue one because it matches the plane, and I just put it right over the landing gear right there, and then insert the landing gear in. Now I have a little rubber strap so that when my battery is put into the plane, whether there's Velcro on it or not, it's not going anywhere. And now I can just slide the battery under that, and I shove the battery all the way to the nose, and there it is. Even if the Velcro lets go, the battery's still going to stay in. And now, even with the stock battery, the plane balances really close to perfectly level. And the other batteries that I use are the micro heli 200 milliamp batteries, which is what that one is. That one will actually help it balance a little better because it's a heavier battery, but it will balance with the stock battery in it. And if you need more weight in there, just make another little small hole, but careful, don't punch too deep in there. Just punch deep enough, drill deep enough to put a sinker in there, because your motor and your gearbox and everything is in there. So don't go running a power drill in there. Just take the drill bit with your hand and just make a little pocket there for the sinker to go in. Don't hook it up in no drill and go drilling holes through your motor and your gearbox, because then you're really going to have problems. Balance is not going to matter then, because it's not going to fly at all. But there you go. you have one of these and you want to make it fly better, try those and see if that helps. If it does, let me know.